This video was sponsored by HDpiano. Muse have plenty of proggy, complex songs, but perhaps a often too forgotten about one is Take a Bow, the opening track from their classic 2006 album Black Holes and Revelations. During this song's fairly modest 4.5-minute runtime, we managed to not only change key 14 times, but all of those key changes are happening by navigating around the circle of fifths. The song opens in the key of D with this quick synth arpeggio pattern, introducing us to the main chord progression we're going to hear during this song, a move from the 1 chord, in this case D, to the augmented chord built on the flat 6th degree, B flat augmented in this case. But before the vocals even enter, we get our first key change, taking us to the key of G. We get that same 1 to flat 6 augmented chord move back and forth that we heard before in the key of D, and then before too long we then get the vocals entering along with another key change, this time to the key of C. So we started in the key of D, then went to the key of G, then C. If we look at the circle of fifths, we can start seeing a pattern here. We're travelling anti-clockwise around the circle, and that pattern is going to continue. Soon enough, Muse take us from the key of C to the key of F. Then the key of B flat. And then the key of E flat. And it's finally here, arriving in E flat, that we stay still just for a little while as we enter the second section of the song. This song is ultimately made up of 3 main sections, and here in the second section of the song, not only are we introduced to a new chord progression, relieving some of the tension built up by hearing that augmented chord progression in the first section, but now, rather than travelling anti-clockwise around the circle of fifths, we're going to keep modulating, but go clockwise around the circle of fifths, so go back the way we came. We're in E flat, so soon enough we then go to B flat, and then to F. And it's here on the F chord that we transition into the third and final section of this song. And just like with the previous section change, we're going to turn back around again and once again go anti-clockwise around the circle of fifths. So we're starting in the key of F here, so we're going to travel through B flat, then to E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and finally to the key of B. Here at the very end of the song, in the key of B, we get this massive ending, climaxing on this very striking chord, which is effectively a C sharp 11 chord over B. Take Take a Bow is a perfect example of a song that I don't think could be written really on guitar. The way that the key changes and the music theory is at the core of this song really screams to me that this was written on a keyboard, on a piano. There's just certain things you can do more easily on a keyboard, things you can understand more readily. So a great way to get writing like Muse, like Matt Bellamy, is to learn how to play the piano. And what better way to learn how to play the piano than by learning some Muse songs? HDpiano is a fantastic way to learn songs at the piano. The songs are presented in these really easy to follow tutorials where the tutor plays the song through to you and then goes step by step breaking it down, explaining how to play it.
There's like 1 E and 2 E and
So if you've always wanted to learn how to play the piano, then do check out HDpiano by following the link down below. Thanks very much. So during that song, we've gone through the vast majority of the 12 keys available to us in Western music, and we've heard 10 out of 12 of the augmented triads available. So how do Muse manage to travel so smoothly through all of these key centers? Well, the fact that we're traveling around the circle of fifths is precisely why it sounds so smooth. The 12 key centers of Western music are arranged in circle of fifths in such a way that when we move from one to the next, we're either adding or removing one sharp or flat from the key. That means that each of these keys, each of these major scales, however you want to think about it, are only one note different from their neighbours. This means that any key is neighboured by what we call its closely related keys. Keys that are only one note different from it, and therefore very easy to pivot to because you only have to swap out one of the 7 notes in the scale to effectively modulate to that new key. Now, modulating around the circle of fifths like this to closely related keys is a very common technique in classical music, and it's no secret that Muse and particularly Matt Bellamy are very much influenced by classical music. In fact, I did a whole video before about some of Muse's more overt borrowings from classical music, so do check that one out if you're interested.
Take a Bow, the first song, which is kind of like a big conspiracy theory kind of vibe, you know, where sort of believe there's a bunch of crazy people who are trying to create a one world government for us all to live like prisoners and get microchipped and all that kind of stuff. And so I kind of a little bit of paranoia in that song maybe.